Here, we have the statistics of two different players in distinct seasons. These numbers refer only to domestic league performance. As we can see, they have very similar stats. Player A has 18 goals and 3 assists, while player B has 17 goals and 5 assists, resulting in a total of 21 for one and 22 for the other in terms of goals plus assists. Looking at the per 90 minutes section, we can see that player A had a slightly more productive season, with higher values in most metrics such as goals plus assists, non-penalty goals, XG, expected goals plus assisted goals per 90, and others. Nevertheless, these stats are as similar as the Pogba brothers, close enough to recognize they are related, but different enough to distinguish them. Now let's hear the narrative surrounding player A and player B.
I personally, I would leave out of this game.
Right, they're better without him. They score more goals without him, and they win more points without him.
If you think that you can play better without him, leave him out.
He's on fire. The kid is on fire.
But there is no other player in world football in Europe. Forget age. I'm talking about no other player in Europe now currently doing what he's doing at the consistency and the rate of which he's doing it.
As you can see, the narratives are completely distinct.
But why?
Player A was considered a problem for the team, while player B, for many, entered the discussion for the best player in the world. Even though player A had a better performance in the ratio of output per games played. And, spoiler alert, he carried his team into Champions League playoffs. Now let's reveal the players, starting with player B and now player A. Some may argue, comparing a striker to a winger isn't fair, but to that I say, F that. I'll explain why comparing these two players is fair. Strikers are typically judged by the goals they score. Wingers, on the other hand, tend to contribute in a more versatile way to the team through goals, assists, dribbles, linking play, etc. But Rashford is a goal-scoring winger, primarily contributing through goals, much like a striker. Therefore, it's fair to compare them since, outside of goals, both offer little to nothing to the team. For Cristiano Ronaldo's standards, this season was not exceptional, but even so, it was a season with a very high output and one of the best performances in the world. How can an individual season like this get so much and constant criticism? Like he was an Asian kid showing a B grade in math to his parents. I remember one of the main arguments against Ronaldo was his lack of defensive contribution, which is ridiculous. Expecting Ronaldo to contribute defensively is like putting a hungry lion in a cage with a zebra and expecting them to cuddle. It simply won't happen. The only defensive contribution that was always consistent in Ronaldo's game, in all the teams he played for, were the clearances he made from corners and free kicks. So, expecting him to completely reinvent himself as a defensive machine in a new club, especially at that stage of his career, is delusional. The only thing wrong in this situation is the unrealistic expectations that people had for him. If you sign Ronaldo, you should only expect one thing from him: goals. And in that, he delivers. Another hot topic was the potential issues Ronaldo caused in the dressing room. Ronaldo, just like Michael Jordan, has the mentality of the great, a winning mentality, always aiming to be the best and to win titles. His high standards, not just for himself, but also for his teammates, might have caused internal conflicts at Manchester United. Because, for people with this type of mentality, good is not enough. They demand excellence, and anything less than that will lead to frustration and dissatisfaction. And at Man United, he found a squad that in terms of quality and mentality, for the most part, was far below his standards, and the Manchester United that he knew in the past, which led to outbursts of frustration, like the one Ronaldo had at Juventus with Juan Cuadrado being a regular occurrence, possibly creating discomfort and friction with highly influential players in the Manchester United locker room. He may not have the best way to express his frustrations, but who has? The frustration existed because many of his colleagues did not reach the minimum standards necessary for him and for the club to be able to compete for titles. And against that, it is impossible to argue. So, was Ronaldo the problem, Or did he expose Manchester United's problem? In my opinion, it's the latter. A club aiming for the top needs players and leaders with Ronaldo's mentality, demanding the best from themselves and their colleagues. But if you want a mediocre club... At the start of the 2022-23 season, Ten Hag became the new coach of Manchester United. Despite publicly praising Ronaldo behind the scenes, it seemed like Ten Hag wanted to replace Ronaldo as soon as possible. This went well for Ten Hag, as he managed to improve the quality in the striker position by loaning the legendary Wout Weghorst. For the first time in his professional career, Cristiano wasn't wanted by his superiors, some teammates, and even a portion of the fans. This led to Cristiano displaying less than ideal behaviour off the field, with a series of unfortunate episodes. Despite not supporting his actions, I understand them, given the circumstances that he was in. This also resulted in a significant drop in his on-field performance, with many claiming he was finished and that his time at the top had passed. For Manchester United in the 2022-23 season, he played a total of 16 matches, with a goal plus assist per 90 of around 0.30, a sharp decline compared to the 0.77 of the previous year. However, he proved to those who doubted him that they were wrong, returning to form and elevating his performance for the Portuguese national team and in the Saudi League. Some might be thinking, comparing the Saudi League to the Premier League, what a moron. Chill, bro. Chill. And let's look at more stats. Here are the goal plus assist per 90 stats for 3 players transferred to Saudi Arabia at the beginning of the 2023-24 season. Riyad Mahrez, Sadio Mane, and Karim Benzema, top-level players. Now, let's see the performance boost that these players had in the Saudi League compared to their career averages. Riyad had a 41% boost. Sadio had a 15% drop. Benzema had a 22% boost. Sadio proves that it is possible to have a drop in performance when moving to a lower quality league. And that boost in performance is not a guaranteed. Still, in general, we can expect a boost ranging between 20% and 40% after such a move to Saudi Arabia. Now let's look at Cristiano's stat. And here we see he had a 42% boost, the highest of the 4. This indicates that he continues to play at a high level and that the start of the 2022-23 season at Manchester United was just a blip in his career. Supporting the argument that his dip in form was a consequence of everything that happened at United, and not the end of Cristiano Ronaldo as a world-class player, as many claimed. He could have had 2 or 3 more seasons at a very high level in Manchester, and he could have helped United to raise their level. He wasn't a long-term solution for Man United's problems, but it was a key component for that. If you are like me and think Ronaldo was treated unfairly in his second spell at United, subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video. See?